We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. Proverbs 16:9.
You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Unknown.
It is what it is, I guess. Drake.
Good morning. My name is Payton and I'm a sixth form boarder from Albany, New York. What I would like to do right now is invite you to join me on a journey. I'm going to hit the pause button and turn back time. I'm going to bring you back to September 5th, a Tuesday, at 2:30 p.m. That was the exact date and time my dad, mom, and I drove up a long driveway to a place that would become my new home, a place called Westminster School. I remember getting out of my car, immediately being greeted by senior boys, and watching them carry most of my prized possessions up 3 flights of stairs to my new room, where I would meet my new roommate, who would quickly become my best friend. In what felt like a flash of time, I was saying goodbye to my parents, recognizing this goodbye had more weight to it than past goodbyes. While hugging my dad, I remember him saying to me, "Remember, Payton, you never get a second chance to make a good first impression." And let's just say, I should have listened more closely to those simple words. Therefore, let me begin my talk by sharing some hard-earned life lessons, what not to do when you are faced with making your own first impression. My first failed first impression opportunity, and this might come as a shock to some of you because it did to me, sitting at a table with people you have never met, spreading condiments with your fingers, is in fact not a good idea. Although effective in spreading mayo, I did not know that this act of poor etiquette would haunt me and be a subject of occasional conversation over the next 3 years. Always use a knife when one is available. Number 2, make sure when you write a community email about losing something, for example, a bracelet, use spell check. Yep, lesson learned. Vuitton, as in Louis Vuitton, is actually spelled Vuitton, not the way I spelled it 2 weeks into school when I lost my bracelet. However, I do want to take this opportunity to thank our previous classmate, Aldiar, as well as so many of you who took the time out of your day to help me become a better speller. Thank you all again. Singing karaoke with your friends can be a fun experience that can create a lifelong memory. However, the key to a successful karaoke performance is choosing the right song. Hence, we arrive at what not to do. Number 3. Maya Tavares and I volunteered to sing Alexander Hamilton in the stud in front of my fellow classmates and former dean, Mr. Gritzmacher. Although Maya and I were confident that we knew every word, it quickly became apparent that we might have selected the wrong song. Awesome play, but more explicit lyrics than we had remembered, and definitely not dean-approved lyrics. Those of you interested in learning more about the lyrics, Google it. Okay, so my next not-to-do event occurred on the very first day of school in photography class. To give you all some background, Miss Russell assigned the class a simple assignment. We had to choose a photo from our past summer and describe it. Simple, right? Unfortunately, not for me. I sat in class and somehow started describing a photo that Eric Elbury had provided as my own summer memory. I didn't notice the mistake until Miss Russell asked Eric where his photo was, and his exact words were, and I quote, I think that girl stole my photo," pointing directly at me. Well, stole may have been a bit of an exaggeration. I borrowed the photo. Lesson: Do not steal or borrow someone else's summer photo memory and make it your own. Eric, we're good, right? And finally, the number one mistake that you cannot make when you're trying to make a good first impression is not knowing the actual name of your new school. I mean, it's a common mistake, right? Westminster, Westminster. Unfortunately, I did not realize my little mix-up until I had written it on everything in Sharpie. Most importantly, my Instagram bio. So, when people from home started asking me how things were going at Westminster, I quickly told them that I switched schools and decided to attend Westminster. And thanks for asking. Things are going great. Happy to be at Westminster. Now, during all these learning opportunities, I still had trouble accepting the fact that Westminster was my home. I quickly developed a reputation for leaving on weekends. I was always seen with one of these in my hand. I loved going home. I thought that my real friends were in Albany. I believed my real identity was in Albany. And I convinced myself that Westminster was simply a place where I would gain valuable academic opportunities, but not allow myself to find new friends nor participate in its many traditions. It was painful to watch my Albany friends all hanging out on the weekends without me. Honestly, I started to tell myself that I was going to drift away from all my friends because I was so far removed from their lives. I would count down the days until I could return to my former life, where I could attend football games, order DoorDash, remain outside past 10 p.m., drive my car, and go to my grandma's house for her birthday. Then junior year came, and with it brought a new dean, who brought us some new rules. Thank you, Miss Smith. These rules, which limited the number of weekends I could take per term, forced me to acclimate to Westminster and make it a central part of my life. Within weeks, I noticed that something had begun to change in my life. The rules changed, but more importantly, so did I. I realized that I had the opportunity to have two homes, not just one. So, I changed the way I viewed my classmates, I started participating in campus events, and my perspective on how I viewed my experience was different. For me, Westminster was not just school anymore. It was a part of my life story. I realized most of my high school memories occurred within 80 yards where we are all sitting right now, not 80 miles back in Albany. I had made my best and most trusted friends here. We have shared in each other's occasional bad decisions, as well as in our many successes. So, why am I standing here talking to you guys about this? Well, if you think about it, most kids will graduate high school and never know what it is like to even spend 1 week away from their families. However, we did not have that same experience. Westminster has been a place where we pushed ourselves into so many unknowns, a place where our world became larger through meeting people from around the United States and beyond. It is a place of academic growth, a place where we will be able to grow into individuals while retaining what I know will be lifelong bonds. For me and the rest of the senior class, we have limited time here on campus. There are only so many days to get dress coded by Miss Smith, get your packages from Kyle, and live within 50 feet of your best friends. So, let's truly enjoy these last 2 weeks here at Westminster together. Realize that when we walk to our next block or check in tonight at 10, we should smile to ourselves. Recognizing there are so few days remaining as students at this school. All these experiences and memories have shaped us into who we are today and who we are going to be in our futures. Underclassmen, I advise you to acknowledge that Westminster is a part of your story without delay. I remember thinking that this day would never come, but trust me, it will, sooner than you want it to. Delivering this chapel talk has made me think about what it's going to feel like driving down the hill for the last time as a student. However, I believe we will all make our way back up that hill one day. whether it is for a quick walk through campus to meet old friends, or perhaps we'll be bringing our own children here for a tour. Either way, the memories of Westminster will live on. I want to thank Westminster, my family, and most importantly, God, for giving me the opportunity to write this chapter in my story. Thank you.